2026, here we come. You are in the presence of a great man, one of SA's top administrators, a legal eagle, and also a man who has played cricket at the highest level. And he was an activist of note who've done and seen it all. Welcome to the Legends Kraal, Justice Pillay, but I call you Boti.
Fine. Thanks for having me.
Yes, yeah. It's been a long road.
Long road, eh?
Yeah.
Over 50 years.
50 years of grinding and moving up and down.
Yeah.
Coming from North End.
Yeah.
I believe you were born in North End.
I was born in Reed Street.
In North End.
In the old days, there used to be a pea leather shop where there was a plastic horse in the window on top.
Yeah.
It is down that road I was born. But I was actually born in the provincial hospital.
It's right up there.
In Port Elizabeth.
Yeah. That's quite incredible. Yeah, people don't associate in our kind and kin to be born there.
Yeah, well, Livingston Hospital was only built after that.
After that, yes, yeah. A family of your parents?
My parents had three sons and a daughter.
Yes.
They all passed on now.
Oh, may their souls rest in peace.
Yeah.
So you're the only one. Were you the youngest or the?
I was the eldest.
The eldest.
Yeah.
My goodness. Sure. That's wonderful.
My father used to be a factory worker at first Central Sawmills in New Brighton. And then that was taken over by Novaboard.
Novaboard, right. I see it.
It's near where Dan Kreek had a garage.
Yes, yeah.
Over that bridge.
Yeah, I know Novaboard. It's been there for quite some time.
Yeah.
Ronnie, you growing up in North End, did you ever go to Crispin Hall?
Yeah.
Crispin Hall was the hall those days.
Those days for our people.
For our people. I remember my mom used to say, you used to dance at Crispin Hall and do this and do that.
Many of the Hindu weddings used to be there.
At Crispin Hall. Yeah.
And I remember during the later days, you'd find the leather union there, a house there on the actual ground floor.
Yeah.
After you take the curve opposite the circle there, Mount
I see, yes. Yeah.
The Leather Works Union, yeah.
Growing up with your siblings, who was your main influencer in playing sport or in society?
The biggest influence on my sporting career was my uncle. Was involved a lot in sport.
What is his name?
We used to call him Uncle Baby.
Oh yeah.
He had one of those long names that when he got registered, his birth got registered, the person other side the counter couldn't spell his name.
Yeah.
So he asked, how old is he? He says, well, he's a baby. So they wrote Baby.
They called Baby and removed the long name.
Yeah.
Because Indian names normally are long.
Long names.
Yeah.
Now, he was an administrator generally. He was also a political activist. He was a member of the Communist Party because at that time, the ANC was not open to everybody.
Yes.
With him, there would be Mr. Govan Mbeki.
Yes, Mgov. The old man.
And Ray Mhlaba.
Yes.
And there were two people who had escaped Europe during the war there. I remember the one's name was Mr. Bennon, Tony Bennon. He was a chemical engineer.
Wow.
He used to work at the cotton mills in Uitenhage.
Yeah.
But his claim to fame with the movement, two issues. He taught Nkom to Susa how to make bombs.
Wow. Sure.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
And the second thing is he introduced South Africa to unionism. And
How to mobilize and organize workers,
Correct.
you know, and all that stuff. Yeah.
Correct. There's a photo of my uncle, baby, in the Bakers Union. You would see that's how they got involved with the unionism.
The unionism, yeah.
And yeah. So that's where
Does
they would
early
operate.
50s or 60s, somewhere there?
That must have been the late 50s,
50s, yes.
early 60s. But I remember the first arrests, detentions without trial. Uncle Baby was one of them that was picked up. And he shared a cell with Golf.
Yeah.
In what they call the Royal.
And I see Royal next to the cemetery.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Swartkop
correct.
Street.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's still there.
It's still there, yes, still.
And I don't know, I can't remember how long they were there, but it was more than 6 months. And later, Mkwa was involved in the Rivonia trials. And of course, he landed up at
Robben Island.
Robben Island, yeah.
Ronnie, you know, sport and whether you were born in North End, or whether you're born in South End, or you're born in New Brighton, born in Udnake, sport was the name of the game as a young man.
Correct.
You know.
There was very little else we could do,
Yes.
our people, but to play sport.
Yes.
We had two movie houses in the area for us. One in South End, one in North End. And we had the Rio in New Brighton.
Rio in New Brighton. Where was Avalon?
Avalon was there in North End.
North End, yes. That's
You know where
Avalon was.
Giddy's used to be?
Yes.
Where the security police used to be?
Yes, I know.
Avalon
Was there.
Yeah.
And then there was Alpha also.
Alpha was in Coston.
And Coston right on top.
Yeah.
Yeah. And later on we became Reno and
Later on,
Star.
Yeah.
Yeah,
correct.
those were
Correct. So there's very little our youngsters could entertain themselves with, except play sport.
yes.
And some of us couldn't afford to go to the movie house every week.
No. You have to go with school, you know, school tours will take you on a particular day.
Yeah.
You know, organized by the teachers. You go dressed in uniform.
Correct. And yeah, so my interest in sport started because of circumstances. I don't regret being involved in sport.
Yeah.
My first cricket club was known as Stardust.
I remember it very well.
Stardust was located in Galvindale. And I remember my uncle came home and said, "You playing cricket?" I said, "Yeah." He asked me for who, so I told him who. He said, "Well chosen. At least you're crossing the bridge."
Yes, yeah.
And he was always a fan of that.
Yeah, it's kind of motivating. you know.
Yeah, to break the barriers wherever we could, you know.
Yeah.
I played there. Then in 1976, there was an attempt to form one board. Some of us didn't fall for that trick. They called it the Billy Wooden era that time. So that led to the breakup of Stardust. And at the same time, there was a lot of drug addiction and robberies and youngsters getting involved in all those social evils.
Gangsterism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we started a club in what was then Hulop,
Yes.
to invite these kids to come and play cricket with us, which was largely successful. I remember in our second year, when they chose our under 16 EP cricket team, that was the black team. We had 3 representatives in that team.
Wow.
So we were pretty chuffed about that. And later on, my political commitments took me to a club called United Cricket Club.
Yes.
United Cricket Club was formed as a combination of New Brighton and
Fort Beaufort.
at Fort Beaufort, yeah.
Yes.
And that was a result of people being thinking about bringing people together, because Fort Beaufort and New Brighton were always at loggerheads, even in the community.
Yes.
And it wasn't healthy for our unity.
Yeah.
So they formed United Cricket Club, and there was one team, Far East, that kept out.
Yeah, I remember.
They for some reason, I can't remember what their reasons were, but they didn't join that. As it turned out, they formed one of the clubs in New Brighton. By their name, Far East, I would guess they would come from King Williamstown side.
All over, yeah. They came from all over. It's sort of interested guys, but highly talented, some of them.
Yeah.
And they're workers from various factories in Costin and elsewhere.
Like all our clubs, you know, Zola, there were a few that ran that club, that kept that club together. And I remember Far East had 2 brothers, Zulu brothers.
Yes.
Their names were Zulu.
The Zulu, yes, I remember.
Yeah, and like United had people like Dan Keke and Putsai.
And Wilfred Kovu.
And Wilfred Kovu.
Toba Williams.
Toba Williams was a player.
Yes.
But I'm talking about keeping the club together.
Yeah. The administrators, yeah.
And it's a pity because of apartheid, because there were a few of our people who would have made that South African side from Port Elizabeth.
Yeah, Tsepo Kadi, fast bowler, Tebo.
I would have thought Toba Williams was a very clever bowler.
Oh.
He wasn't the fastest in the world.
Yeah.
But he could swing a ball and take wickets.
Yeah.
Morris Wilson was, in my view, one of the best cricket products ever produced in South Africa. Everything being equal, the likes of Tiger Lance and those guys would never see the South African side.
Yes.
And you go around the country, the Majid brothers, etc.
Yes.
They were all good cricketers.
De Oliveira.
Excuse me?
You remember De Oliveira?
De Oliveira, when
was it the same?
As far as I can, was
it the same period?
No, he had left for England.
Then.
By the time I started to play cricket.
Okay. Yeah.
Strangely enough, it was a person from Port Elizabeth who had gone to Cape Town to live, who engineered de Oliveira's trip to England. And he waited quite a long time. I think the qualification time was 5 years before he could represent England.
Yeah, he nationalized before.
And funnily enough, when he did, he played so well that he was chosen for the English side to come to South Africa. And of course, that resulted in what they call the Dolly affair.
Yes.
And that led to South Africa being expelled from the MCC as it was that time. So de Oliveira was my coach at one time when he came to PE. He played here and coached us and played for Eastern Province. Us youngsters would say, hey, is coaching today if the man is sober.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
But no matter what his condition was, he was a great cricketer.
So he got tendency to bend the elbow. That's what they call
beer.
it.
Well,
for beer.
he would drink beer like they do in England.
They do. We've got pubs all over in England.
And
religiously drinking that beer.
And he was a big friend of what they used to call the person they called Mr. Morgan. Who had a bottle store.
Okay.
And whenever you would see or want to see de Oliveira, you'd find him at the Alabama.
Oh, Alabama, the great Alabama.
Yeah.
So iconic, that place. Every time I go past there, it rekindles memories of yesteryear. Because Alabama used to be the place.
Both socially and sporting.
And sporting, yeah.
Now, when I became politically involved, the issue of an umbrella body for sport came about. At that time, the South African Non-racial Olympic Committee was banned. Early 60s, maybe late 80s. It was at almost the same time when the ANC and the Communist Party and all those other parties got banned. Then it became necessary to find an alternative to Sandrock that was banned. Because our people, sporting people, needed an umbrella body for sport. Because it became a tool of resistance. And it became very embarrassing to the regime at the time when cricket and rugby were expelled. And soccer and all the sports.
But many people then, to herald the unhappiness about the status quo, will always heckle and shout. And when they go to these matches, if the All Blacks are here, rugby, Brian Williams is here, they'll go there and heckle and shout and be chased back to the townships. And then if the cricket is here, and the same thing will happen. So which meant that the kind of subtle, you can say subtle resistance of the status quo.
We had to be very careful at the time because they would arrest you for no apparent reason and incarcerate you. But when it was discussed and I was told later how it happened, my Uncle Baby and Dan Keke and a gentleman called, I only got told his name, Mr. Daniels from Cape Town. He, in fact, came to Port Elizabeth because he was run out of Cape Town for some reason. I don't know what. And they hatched the idea of an alternative to Sandrock. It eventually became South African Council on Sport, SACOS.
SACOS. That's how it was
But
established.
Boudin, Keke, and my uncle were both listed people. So they were banned. They couldn't be in meetings of more than 10, etc. So neither of them could become the chairman or president of SACOS. They then went to approach Mr. Abbas of SARO at the time.
Dula Abbas. From Kimberley.
And he graciously accepted the job of being the first president of SACOS. Only after his term or after he finished it, people like Hassan Hawa entered the fray. Unfortunately, and I'm going to say this openly because it is my view, SACOS was captured for political reasons. And unfortunately, it didn't serve the purpose for which it was established, to bring people together.
Yeah.
SACOS was not known or did not operate in the townships.
Yeah.
And hence there was a distance between the people who had been put there by the regime of the time and SACOS. That, at the time, we then found ourselves with, let's take cricket for example. It happened in football also, and I think rugby also. We had the African Cricket Association, the Indian, the colored, and it was Boudin and my uncle that brought those people together.
Together, yeah.
And they formed the first body, non-racial body that was formed as Eastern Province Soccer Board in 1954.
Sure.
And thereafter, cricket followed suit. And I know I'm given to understand one of my older teachers who's now late, Dr. Jay Moodliar's brother-in-law, Rami, was the first secretary, Doraswamy. And that organization became known as the Eastern Province Cricket Association. And I remember Mr. Majola, old Mr. Majola,
Eric.
He captained that side from...
Great cricketer, great rugby player.
He captained that side from New Brighton side. And of course, when he retired, his children took up the cudgels.
Gerald.
I first met Kaya Majola at Cowan.
Cowan High School.
Yes. I went to school at Southern High, now broken down.
Yes.
You know, Zola, that was just more than a building, that school. It taught you a lot of things. It brings a lump in my throat when I think about it.
South End.
Yeah, Southern High. Even Cowan, where Doc Somyalo was a teacher.
Doc Somyalo was there.
I think he was a principal or the teacher.
Doc Somyalo was there also. Quite one of these greats were there. And there was also Kunta was the principal those days.
So Raymond Uren took us cricket team from Southern High to Cowan School.
Sure.
There was a small cricket field there, you know, these aunties used to walk across, and you had to wait till the aunties got over the field before you resumed.
Can hit a 4, can hit a 6. Otherwise, it'll hit somebody's head.
And they take their time and have a conversation with each other on the middle of the pitch.
You as the wicket keeper must hold on all those balls. Otherwise, things will fall apart.
Correct.
And,
So, 1960, 1961, 1962, 1963, 1964, 1965, 1966, 1967, 1968, 1969, 1970, 1971, 1972, 1973, 1974, 1975, 1976, 1977, 1978, 1979, 1980, 1981, 1982, 1983, 1984, 1985, 1986, 1987, 1988, 1989, 1990, 1991, 1992, 1993, 1994, 1995, 1996, 1997, 1998, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 1999, 19 I was saying that that's how SACOS was formed. And it's gone from strength to strength. It had some good principles.
Yeah.
And it was used as a tool of resistance.
Yeah.
I remember when the United Democratic Front was formed. It sought to have a relationship with SACOS. And that didn't work too well.
Yeah, there was a big debate.
And that resulted in the establishment of the Sports Congress, National Sports
Congress in Durban.
Yeah.
And then I think I was there in those classrooms.
Correct.
In Durban. I don't know.
It was a replay of how we used to struggle.
Yeah.
For accommodation.
Yeah. There was no accommodation. You'll find. I remember the first day we went there. All these federation sporting codes were called to represent, to start writing the constitution, and all that stuff. People talking to us, and I didn't know actually what's going to happen. We slept at night, and then we were bitten by these mosquitoes like no more.
Ooh.
They had a field day. Field night.
And I want to come back. Well, that happened, I think there was a school for the blind in Newlands, Durban. That's where I think it occurred, that meeting.
Yeah.
It was near where Krish McAdoosh stayed.
The Krish McAdoosh and those guys, Rama Reddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to get back to sport in Port Elizabeth.
Port Elizabeth, yeah.
At some time, Butsai called me. Said, Jonga, you will become the president of cricket in the Eastern Province. Nangu, Danny, you will become the president of football.
Danny Jordan.
And it happened like that. But both football and cricket shared a secretary.
Yeah.
In the form of Errol Haynes.
Yeah, Errol, yes.
What a competent secretary he was.
Hard worker.
That is where the engine of an organization operates.
Yeah.
And he left cricket when he became the deputy mayor of Port Elizabeth.
The first.
It's a pity.
The first deputy mayor. I think he was the first deputy mayor.
Yeah.
In 1995.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. And he was a respected person amongst the right-minded people in the municipality.
Yes.
Who would refuse to do anything wrong when requested to do so. And he said, I'm not going to do that. And that's how he lost his position. Yeah. But you couldn't get better competence than what he would give out, And he was right-minded in the sense that he didn't discriminate.
No, I know him very well.
And in those days, Zola, even if I must credit the hijackers of SACOS, we learned a lot about non-racialism.
We did. It instilled, a sense of purpose. And also it gave us, as the youngsters then, a home, sort of an epicenter.
Correct.
Where you could say, this is my home. These are my people.
Correct.
Regardless of the color of one.
Yeah. We never saw each other in terms of color.
No.
And I remember Ukaya would come home and tell Nan, my wife, I'm hungry. They say, well, come sit and eat. And then he would eat. It's where he learned to eat curry.
Yeah. I hope you didn't start him with biryani. Yeah.
No, he had.
Yeah, I had these guys, the Kwaro guys had a bad experience in Cape Town. We went to Cape Town, we were not allowed to stay in hotels and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then we were, there was a nice house when we arrived. And then they served biryani. And there was a guy called Bruno Mbula, a big fellow, a southern weightlifter. And then he saw this rice, there were, nice pieces of chicken and all that stuff. And we said to him, we forewarned him, don't dig deep, otherwise we would have major problems. He said, no, you don't know food. he went for the biryani. Hey, we saw a river of water coming within no time from the face. And then he made he made a cardinal sin. When you eat biryani, don't drink water. You're just pouring petrol, the whole thing. But the food is nice.
Yeah.
And you dare not eat. You have to.
Yeah. Anyway, we were talking about the cricket organization.
Yes.
And I gained a lot of respect for Bhutan.
Dan Kreke.
Yeah.
My father.
He was a disciplinarian of note.
Yes.
But the teaching or the lessons to be learned from him still exist today and it's still relevant today. Mm-hmm. One of the things he taught us is you don't do wrong to the people. Mm. He was such a Democrat. He was asked to be on the government of Ciskei. Mm. He came around to all of us and said, look, I've been asked to do this. What do you people say? Mm. Fortunately, Butsai knew about it and he explained to us that the people of the Ciskei are asking him to sit on that body because they need someone to keep Sebe on the narrow, straight and
strong-willed individual.
Yeah. Because they would suffer, the people there. About 3 months thereafter, he came back to us and said, Buddhists, this is not working. Every time I raise something, I get outvoted. So they said, no, well, if that's the case, there's no point being there. So he came back, gave up that job. And nobody knows this. He never took a cent for doing that. Even then, he used to go travel to Ciskei on his own account.
Yeah.
And it's marvelous. I don't know if it's ever been written, the sacrifices, financial and otherwise, that people made to serve the community.
Yeah, he was a selfless individual.
Yeah.
And hardworking, and he loved his people. He loved his community, and also he was a true servant of our society, I would say.
Correct.
Yeah. If you have learned so much from him, can you imagine me being very close to him, and his name pops up all the time. Greats like you, when they come and speak here, his name comes up, which means something he has done in your lives.
There's no doubt about it. We can't forget. What troubles me, Zola, is that I'm becoming extremely concerned. That for obvious reasons at the time, our history, black history, could not be written. Deliberately so. But it's exercises like we're busy with now that will help tell the younger generation what we went through, how we managed. Everything, nothing came cheap.
How we survived.
Yeah. I remember Bhutan when I went to play for United Cricket Club. He handed out raffle sheets. Said, go sell these raffles. We're not going to get things for nothing here.
Yeah, yeah,
And we had to do it.
yeah.
We couldn't arrange a dance because we would not get supported because people couldn't afford it. So your best was to have a raffle, and you'd get, for the season, you'd be able to buy balls for the season.
Yeah.
These days, people expect to get things on a tray.
Handouts.
Yeah. And that doesn't fly with me, Zola, because you must earn your pride.
Absolutely.
I remember when I used to watch you at the Dan Keke Stadium, running full out at the rugby ball in your hand. It was a sense of pride.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I said to myself one day, I wish Tuti could be in the same side as Zola.
Yeah.
We'd see wonderful rugby.
Great rugby. Yeah.
But he played for EP at the time,
Yes.
so yeah.
You know, taking you back a little bit, Ron. And then with all those historical milestones you have reached, with everything growing up, and then being facing challenges, and then being led by these great guys, and then taking heed of what they are telling you to do, being a highly talented individual, opening batsman, wicket keeper, and all that stuff, Ron. Every weekend, you knew that you'll play with your people. That's something that's set
Correct.
nicely deep in your heart. And then I normally ask this question to somebody, the road you have traveled, and then it set you strategically, or you got an opportunity to serve now in the new dispensation. You were elected to be the deputy president of Eastern Province. Can you take us in that journey? Cricket,
Yeah.
how did it happen?
Well, the negotiations were at national level. I remember the South African Cricket Board under Chris McAdoosh.
Yes.
We had 7 members on our executive. Jeff Dakin's lot had 10. Now, I don't know what happened in their meetings, their own meetings, but it turned out that none of them wanted to step down
Okay.
to make it 7-7.
Oh, yeah.
So we added 3 people to our 7 to make it 10-10.
10.
Because we wanted to emphasize the issue of equality. And you're not better than us, and we're not claiming to be better than you. We're forming one body. I remember at the what they used to call the hall there in New Brighton those days.
It was in Centenary.
Centenary Hall.
Yes.
We welcomed the Protea team there. And we were going to give them a send-off to go to the World Cup in Australia. And I was asked to introduce Danny, who was going to give the keynote address. But when I was introduced, I was introduced as a person who was part of assisting South Africa to re-enter international cricket. So I had to put the record straight. I said, South Africa is not re-entering cricket. We are new members.
Yes.
Simply because we as blacks didn't play cricket for South Africa at the time. We weren't allowed.
Yeah.
Now that was related to when we decided to form one board nationally. India, who had proposed South Africa's expulsion because of apartheid, wrote to McAdoo's and said we'd be honored to nominate South Africa for re-entry. So McAdoo's, in typical democratic fashion, he came to talk to us. And I remember this very clearly because I told him, you know, tell Del Maya, who was president of Indian cricket at the time, that South Africa is going to go there as a new member because we never had an opportunity to play for South Africa. So it's not re-entering, it's a new body.
Yes.
The people they got expelled was an apartheid body. So they accepted that without question.
And it became the first outbound tour,
Yeah, correct.
you know, of a
We went to India.
yeah, that was the first outbound tour to India.
Yeah.
From a sort of a united South Africa,
Correct.
you know, cricket federation.
Correct.
Yeah.
I remember Jimmy Cook
Yes.
was out the first ball
Yes.
of that match
Yeah.
in India. It is the first time that India entertained South Africa.
Yeah. Clive Rice being the captain.
Of course.
Yes.
Who else?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have liked somebody else to have captained that side, but the selectors thought he was the best because he was arrogant. And he would not admit that he and Kaya Majola played together for Northamptonshire in England
In England, yes.
for 2 years, I think.
Yeah. Kai was out.
And then Kaya was offered a contract. But Maya was not going to have anything of that. Her son must come
Bring
home.
my boy back.
Yeah,
Can't.
yeah. So you had to come back and give it, and then Clive Rice got a contract there.
Yes.
So their first choice was Kaya Majola.
Yeah.
He was an all-rounder. He was a spinner, left-hand batsman, number 4, number 5
Yeah.
there. And those are small issues that meant a lot to us at the time. And when Colin Cowdery phoned McAdoo's and said, we have this letter, are you aware of it? And Chris told him yes. And he came to us again and said, look here, Colin Cowdery has asked, should he push this through now? He said, one condition. You want South Africa in the world scenario, change your constitution. Because at the time, England and Australia, and I can't remember the third side, had the right of veto as to who played Test cricket against who. So we said we'll only come into this regime, if you want to call it that, if you change your constitution to one test playing country, one vote. They did it. He engineered it and they did it. And that's how we became members of the, at the time, MCC.
Yes.
So they changed that constitution to be more equal and more just. But I'm told that they've changed that back to the original now, where India, who should have known better,
Yeah.
England and Australia are now
They're pulling the strings.
they're pulling the strings on the basis that they bring in the most money. Well, I'm afraid I don't know. I don't buy into that. And we're going to see, Zola, where cricket is going to land.
Yeah.
I don't think they will have to change it one of these days again when India is not so strong. And the cracks are beginning there already.
Yes.
And even locally, you know, like you would have played for the Springboks.
Thank you.
I'm telling you,
Thank you very much.
you earned your stripes.
Absolutely.
You went through all these hardships to achieve those stripes. Now, what we got in South Africa are sports people who got nothing to do with administration, no experience.
Nothing.
They have not earned their stripes. How they got there, I don't know, but it's this.
It's a story for story for another day.
Yeah, but it get thrown in your face that you anti-transformation. And I keep on saying transformation towards me is not only a color issue. It's a
Yes.
change of systems.
Absolutely.
You know, and I feel terrible and heartsore. The other day I rode past the Dunkirk. Hey, Boetie.
It's in ruins. It's in ruins.
I planted grass there as a youngster.
It's in ruins. Yeah.
And I don't know who in this municipality gave the right to people. I think it's an African bank who are giving money towards whatever they're doing. But the traditions of the Dunkirk is gone. And there's too much blood that has been spilled for that ground.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can get it back, Zola.
Yeah. Well, let's hope. Let's hope, Ron. You know, the issue of transformation. It takes me. It takes me back to 1995. You talked about cricket, you know, reintroducing of cricket into the world stage. So was also rugby, 1995, the World Cup, you remember?
Correct.
And
I was at that game.
yes, and also I know you played a part regarding the emblem with Madiba.
Yeah. There was a National Sports Congress meeting chaired by Nkululeko George.
Yes.
And one of the issues on the agenda was rugby is applied to continue to use the Springbok as an emblem.
Springbok emblem, yes.
So I got up there and said, you know, if you want me to elaborate, I will do so. But let us get one thing straight. If this meeting is going to decide that the emblem would be the Springbok, then all sports must play under the Springbok.
Yes. Soccer, hockey,
cricket, the lot.
Everybody.
Netball,
Netball.
whatever. If we decide it is not going to be the Springbok, then even rugby can't use it. It's not a rugby issue.
Yes.
Unbeknown to me, Louis Late and company had gone to see Madiba that morning in Houghton. I still continued with my argument. I lost that vote.
Yeah.
Some other people knew other things that I didn't know.
We didn't know.
About a month or so afterwards, Professor Jake Scarwell phoned me, and I knew Professor Jake Scarwell was Madiba's sounding board.
Yeah, special advisor.
Yeah. And he said, the old man wants to see you. I said, John, Chin. Which old man? He said, Madiba. So what's it all about, Jake? He doesn't know. So we go just outside Umtata.
Kono.
Kono. We go there. And for his age, he had a fantastic memory because I had the privilege of meeting him at Paulsmoor with my national lawyers, Democratic,
Association.
Nadel.
Nadel then, yes.
And we met him, and when I met him there in Kuno, he says, oh, young man, I remember you came to visit me in Paulsmoor.
Yeah, the Lawyers Association. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was taken aback. I mean, he had a fantastic memory. And he says, let me tell you something. I want to talk to you about the Springbok. I heard what you had to say. You were absolutely right. I agree with you. However, we're busy negotiating now. We got to give and take.
Absolutely.
And there's no point taking everything. We can't take everything. So let's give them the Springbok. We'll get other things. So I was yet arguing. I said, Madiba, but then if the rugby is going to play with the Springbok, all of us should. He said, no, it's not necessary. At that stage, I thought to myself, I'm not going to win this argument.
Yeah, never against that old man.
So, yeah. I was a bit nervous to go to him, but when I got out there, I felt very relieved.
Yeah.
He was not a, how could I put it, a violent person.
Yeah.
He understood what the sentiments were, but he was also practical in the circumstances. And then afterwards he asked me, I was on Gov, and I'm close to Gov and whatever. I said, yeah, he's okay.
He's doing well. Puti, you've traveled through thick and thin. You've seen it all these years. The road you have traveled, you have seen the change happening in our country, and you've been a judge. You've done a lot of good things, and a lot of people see you and know you as one of those great sons of the soil, so to speak, and that's why we're hosting you today. It's an incredible journey. It's the love of people who've made a meaningful contribution towards our country. How would you like to be remembered, having traveled this road?
I haven't given that thought as to how I would like to be remembered, simply because whatever I've achieved or done, I've done it for the people. And I've kept that mantra that I learned from the Freedom Charter, that I learned from the United Democratic Front, of serving the people. There's nothing specific that I would like to be remembered by or for, except as a servant of the community. I have in my days made errors of judgment. Sometimes it turns out to be wrong. Sometimes it turns out to be the correct decision. But at the end of the day, I'm a Democrat at heart, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because You know, Zola, this democracy that is practiced today is not what we grew up with. Because if you're going to do something wrong, you can't justify it by democracy. I remember when that athlete whose gender was questioned, I forget the name, I'm getting too old to remember. Yeah.
Caster.
Caster.
Yeah.
It was suggested that they take it to Parliament and vote on her gender. Now, Bhuti, either she's got a gender problem, testosterone, or not. You can't vote on it and count as a man or a woman. It's factual.
Yeah.
And that's one of the issues that I have trouble with, that people using numbers to prove certain things. The time will come, you know, Zola, we haven't had enough time. 30 years is too little time to change people's character and people's mentality.
Traditions.
In my view, and I'm going to say it, I don't know if you'll agree with me, that there's still two systems, at least two systems operating this country. For example, the educational system is one for the townships and one for others. That's why those who can afford it in the townships send their children out. You'll find when I was at the university, we would find children come out with a matric. They want to become engineers. They can't. They got 30% in maths. Whereas if you had the teacher to teach them maths and physics, they would be much better students.
Yeah.
And their quality would be much better when they get to university. And I don't know when that is going to change. Everybody can't come to university or go to university. It was a mistake to close the technical colleges.
Colleges and the teachers.
Yeah.
Puti, we have a tradition here where greats like you, when they come on this platform, greats like you, you know, the legends crawl. We say to them they must sign this. Having been a, you can see, you know, you can see that we had other guys who have signed here. We give you the honor to sign there as a wicket keeper and also an opening batsman. Sign on top, on this side, yes, on this side. Your famous signature. We want also to say to you, thank you from the Legends Crawl for being our guest and making us proud. From here, we want to come here. This is another platform where we we call upon you to sign here as one of our greats. You can sign on the white side or can come on my side in whatever, if your signature is long. There's another area here that's nice, you know, and say to you, thank you very much for coming and making us proud in so many ways, your sacrifices and your family. Very good. Thank you.